Welcome to another interview with Steve Mills, IEEE Standards Association President and past Chair of Standards Education Committee. Thank you for one more opportunity to talk to you on broad spectrum of topics on the standards education.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Steve. So in last interview, as we were discussing the continuing education, you mentioned about the global interest in both the standards and standards education. Can you give your perspective on what the what the global requirements are on standards education and who is really interested in or who should be interested in standards education?
Yes, I think as we look at global markets and the globalization of the workforce, it becomes very important for us to consider standards education on a global scale. And to do so, I think we need to understand some of the complexities that are involved with the standardization process and how it relates to the development of products and the development of global markets. I've always been a strong advocate of the belief that there are three fundamental dynamics in the standardization process, as with all business-related activities. They are technology, economics, and politics. And as you look across the globe, it appears to me that the emerging countries, the countries that are most focused on trying to find their place on this global scene, are the countries that pay the most attention to the proper education of their practicing engineers as well as their students in the area of standardization. They do this because they view standards as a key linchpin in allowing them to make their technologies available in the marketplace and to be competitive with the rest of the world in those markets.
Right. So in some of these up and coming technology areas, where do you see the government, for example, influencing the standards education?
Again, I think that most of the governmental influence that I see are in the emerging economies, where the governments see the significance of global participation in global markets, competitiveness on a global scale, as being critical to their establishing their position in the world. And as a result, they know they need an empowered workforce, a workforce that is prepared and attractive to industry to invest in. And one of the elements is to have a strong foundation in standards. And I think that the world responds to that by moving their work force to these various geographic locations.
And that's how the economics come into play.
Yes.
Then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does the technology evolution or the innovation come into play with the standards education?
So I think technology plays two roles. One is a standard. It's difficult to do many standards without a strong technical base. And from the perspective of the IEEE, of course, we're world-renowned for the technical excellence of our standards. But we always do standards that have a strong economic dimension as well, and that they are standards that you can implement in products in a cost-effective way. So the standardization, the standards that are relevant to market success and have a strong impact on the market actually result in driving the innovation process. So innovation starts to move more rapidly in markets that depend on those standards for their future evolution. Perhaps the absolute best example that we have of such a phenomena is the internet market.
Right.
And from the IEEE perspective, the physical device standards that are created in the IEEE, most notably the IEEE 802 standards. The technology in those standards moves very, very quickly, and it's the result of the phenomenal success of the internet business.
Right, and that will probably be a role model for things like smart grid and smart meters, and in healthcare devices and so on.
Yes, you think of some of the most talked about areas today, smart grid, healthcare, cloud computing,
security,
they are all key examples of how where standards can play an important role in helping to realize the potential of those areas, as well as driving them once they become established.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Those are, again, very insightful comments, and we appreciate your time and commitment to promoting standards and standards education.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.